Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Sam the SLB, and alongside me today, as always, is the man behind X, Wrestling's Voice of Reason, Scott.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, 1/3 of ATR is War, the man who brings you all the non-Japanese wrestling news and results from X, Twitter, all that jazz.
And also joining us is the third man. Wow, I totally blanked. You know why? Because I didn't have it pulled up in front of me. The third man from parts unknown, probably his basement, the man in black himself, formerly the Spike Dudley's little brother, Ethan.
It's Dick Deli the Third. Thank you, sir. It's me, Man Black. Yes, I'm third co-host of this show, ATR's War, co-host of Rising Sun. You can follow me on Twitter as @fan_9. You can follow me on any wrestling website covering anything wrestling, and I do the Above the Ring Twitter for Japanese news results. Yeah, I do a lot.
He does,
Yes,
and we
he
thank him for it.
I'm just going to say it because I forgot. Co-host of ATR War, ATR Rising Sun, as well as the host of Uncle Sam's Static Kaleidoscope. Guys, before we begin, don't forget to make sure you like, share, subscribe, follow us for more wrestling content. First and foremost, couple of things. Full Gear is come and gone by this point. Make sure you guys go listen. If you haven't, go listen to the pre-show. Why not? See what we had to say about it. Post-show will be done side by side with Survivor Series. Survivor Series is this weekend. The go-home show will be posted this week. Take a look for that. Other thing we want to promote while we are on the show, we have a Discord. I don't know why I did that hand motion. Just like a Discord. Ooh. Maybe I'll start posting that. I should probably post this stuff in the description. Go join it. We try to grow a community, wrestling people, just talking and having a good time. We might be doing some things for the 5th anniversary coming up in less than 2 months, guys.
It's crazy.
Scott and Ethan and I have a couple of things planned. Ethan, one of the things I want to say is I say we drop your top 10 in the 5th anniversary episode.
Ooh, yes, I like that idea.
With the three of us. So.
Ooh, wait, top 3 or top 10?
Top 10.
All right, I got some homework to do.
You got time.
Don't worry, that's not till January, so we got time. We have time. So, that being said, first thing we wanted to kick off, also Deadline's coming up, guys. Deadline is coming up, I think, the first weekend. We will have that covered as well.
Yep.
I'm going to throw this over to you both because you guys were advising me. We're going to start covering the WWE ID stuff as they get announced. So, I'll let you guys... I don't know if we have any new...
I think there was a couple since our last podcast that we had.
There was. Yeah. I'll bring them out because I'm pretty excited for some. Let me go to Walt Culture because they're actually the ones who keep it updated.
Nice.
All right, so excuse me. Let me see here. Who was the last one we talked? Was it? Oh, Ice Wines was the last guy's out. So updated since we last talked was Evil Gay Aaron Rourke, who was spotted at Wrestling Open.
Mm-hmm.
Figured. Also from Wrestling Open, Brad Baylor, who was actually one half of the Wrestling Open tag champs for Ricky Smokes, who's from Chaotic Wrestling. That's what they scouted from. He's also a Wrestling Open, but he got scouted as well. So their tag team name, by the way, is Swipe Right.
Nice.
Their official name should be called the Tender Profile. Sorry, bad joke. Then we got Carson Drake, who was... Where did he... I'm trying to think. Oh, he was on WWE Pro for where he lost to Andrew Shear, and he was also on Dark Elevation. Remember that show, Dark Elevation?
Yeah, with 400 matches in every show.
God damn. And our first Canadian talent was So Sager. She was actually on AEW Dark there a couple years ago, I think it was.
Okay. Nice.
And she was ID'd at the North Crown event in Ontario that Rocket Josh Alexander was talking about, which we'll get to him in a few minutes. And I think that was it, actually, just for now. When was that article? I'm going to check the ID Twitter for a second, just to make sure.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything pop up on X recently since like those people were announced. So it's good. I do like this system. There's definitely perks to it, But there are some downfalls as well, and
Oh, I apologize. There's one more from 7 hours ago. The Aaron Roberts, he was scouted from Memphis Wrestling,
nice.
and then there's gonna be somebody from Freelance Wrestling. Actually, well, we'll know after this drops. But as of right now, as for recall, we don't know who that person is. So
Yeah.
once we know, I'll keep you guys updated. But somebody from Freelance Wrestling.
All right. Well, we're gonna keep an eye on that. Let's see how this turns out. Yeah. Our friend Mark had maybe this is a good talking point. Since I know Ethan has a little bit of time, he's gotta leave early again. I want to bring up what Mark had said, and we can probably comment on this. Mark, buddy, we love you. We're glad for the discourse. I'm gonna read this as and this is his words. So he says his only issue with the ID program is basically WWE is just saying we are interested in you, but not enough to give you an actual deal that pays well enough to live on. I can't find anything solid to indicate if they're getting paid for being on this contract. And if you're still on your own as far as getting yourself to the level where we actually will want to use you. And for any other wrestling company, there's literally no incentive to give the wrestlers a shot once they're in the ID program. For one thing, WWE might look unfavorably on a wrestler who takes an AEW booking while on the program. And for another, if AEW tries them out and wants to sign them, WWE has the option to snap them up first. So why would AEW give them a chance? If they're good, it might just be another Rick Rude situation. It just seems to me that this is an excuse for WWE to lock down anyone who's even remotely has potential in order to keep them out of the running anywhere else while not needing to actually invest any time or money to them for it. Thoughts?
It's a valid concern. I mean, he's absolutely right. This kind of feels like how things were, I'd say, in the middle of not really towards the end, not really in the middle of the Attitude Era, but it's kind of like they're putting out their feelers, they're finding people that they like, and they're kind of like saying, "Hey, we're gonna stamp this on you, but you're kind of ours, but yet you're not." It's almost like it kind of feels like a situationship, when it comes to stuff like that. So I'm excited about the program and what it could lead to, but I also understand where Mark's coming from, where it's kind of like they're tagging these talents out there, and now if anybody else wants them, they have a chance to either get dropped from the program or they easily get swallowed up and then get lost in the system for a while and then get thrown back out. Who knows? It's you kind of have to come at this from like a good and bad situation, because for as everything looks really good, it could be for the wrong reasons. Sometimes you never know. We'll see. I do have high hopes for it. I hope that this actually does end up turning into something that's really profitable for both WWE, for the indie scene, and for future wrestlers. I know a lot of them are still WWE or bust, which is something that Mark had also mentioned. If that's how people want to be, then that's great for them. But I don't know. I definitely see where he's coming from with his worry. I really do.
Yeah. Sorry. I thought I heard something. I mean, the ID program is good. I see where it's come from. I understand what Mark's saying, because like I said last episode, like if someone gets offered a contract to AEW, TNA, MLW, like a different promotion based WWE's like we get to go first, like pick kind of thing.
Yeah.
And either they can refuse it, like no, we want them kind of thing, or just no because you're under the program, or they be like, okay, bye, release.
So, well, that's the other thing too. Like, does this? I don't know the ins and outs, and again, we're all speculating here, so this isn't us saying what's law. But does this make it where it would change the whole thing if it's like, oh yeah, this locks them in so they can't get picked up, but they may never use them.
Right.
Kind of like how they used to sign people.
Yes, they do. Yeah, you have the roster bloat. They have hundreds of people, and maybe half of them are on the show, and the other half are either on main event or when they had Superstars as a show, or they get tossed into NXT and just disappear into the world, never do anything for 5 years, and then they get released. And then by that time, their prime years are half gone, or who knows. So I kind of understand that worry, and part of me actually worries about that as well. Like if you're gonna tag these wrestlers, use them. Develop a whole nother system if you have to, like a whole nother like another OVW for all these ID kids, to have them all come in, work with people at the performance center. Start throwing. I know they're getting rid of NXT Level Up, which I'm kind of.
Wait, what?
I wish they wouldn't, so that way these kids can have somewhere to go. I read that somewhere that NXT Level Up was going to go away, that they weren't going to keep it anymore.
Huh.
If I'm wrong, if I misread something, then I'm gladly happy about that, because I feel like you get these kids in, you start training them, you teach them. Yes, it is the WWE way, but it's the way that they want to portray these people on television. You start putting them through NXT Level Up if it's going to stick around, and then eventually you move them up to NXT. Like look at like Javon Evans, a perfect example of a kid who came out of literally nowhere, wrestling in DPW down in the Carolinas. He gets signed. He comes up. He starts wrestling on NXT Level Up. He makes like some ridiculous things happen in his matches. He gets put on X. People are starting like, oh, this kid's actually got something. They start putting him in NXT, and now look at him. He's constantly towards the mid, upper tier of the mid card, and having matches for like the NXT title, or at least competing for a chance to be a number one contender. Like, that's what I hope for all of these kids that are coming in. And I'll say kids, yes, because they're still kids. They're still young. They're still, in their 20s. They're still hungry. They want to prove themselves. So this is the perfect opportunity. And that's my hope, that they treat these kids right, and that they give them the opportunity to shine wherever they're going to be in the WWE system.
Literally, Joanne Evans was literally their world champion when he signed with WWE, so he vacated. He basically did pull to Seth Rollins.
Yeah, that's true.
But Seth Rollins lost the title. But
right.
All right. Yeah, no, I'm kind of on the same boat. I mean, there's pros and cons. Depends. I have faith that Triple H just has a little more, but I've also heard things still that it's still, shark infested waters with these companies. People still want to go. I mean, there was still talent going over to AEW being like, hey, I would rather be here.
Right. Exactly. Some people are just not gonna enjoy the WWE way of how they do wrestling. They might, even though Triple H has been a lot more lax when it comes to wrestlers getting time off, when it comes around the holidays. I believe that both the Raw and SmackDown for this coming week, it was taped the week prior. They're going to do the same thing around Christmas time. I love that. I think that's great. They should have more time at home, have more time to relax, be with their families for the holidays. That's how it should have always been. Vince didn't. He ran it like a machine. He didn't care. 50 weeks out of the year, you were on, you were always doing something wrestling related for the company. Triple H doesn't have that, that type of a reign, which is good. But, you cycle down, you look at how NXT's been doing recently. They've been doing wonderful again. Once Shawn Michaels got his hands on, the reins when it came to doing everything, they've been doing really well. And I hope that this WWE ID system will be the next layer of things to help pull people up who deserve a shot. Because a lot of these guys that we talked about, they're very deserving. Like Aaron Rourke, I think, is a phenomenal talent. I've watched him live at Chaotic. I think Sam, actually, the show you and I went to years ago, I think he wrestled there. He might have wrestled that. I don't remember exactly, but I've seen him before live. The kid is phenomenal. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's able to do.
I agree. He's incredible talent. He had a great match with Dijak there a couple months ago. Oh, yeah. Dijak's first post WWE match.
Exactly. Right. Yep. And then Dijak even said right after that match, he's like, look for this guy to be on television within a year or so. And then he got signed. And once he got signed to the ID program, Dijak came back online and said, see, I told you.
Yeah, it's funny because he jokingly said me first. That'd be fine. That'd be big for if I got put on the, like, joking, obviously. Yeah. Then he's like all serious. Then he listed a couple like TJ Crawford, great talent. Al Price, not a great talent. There was a few, I forget who else he said, but there's a couple other people on there he mentioned, but those are the top two that caught my eye there.
Yep.
Because Al Price, he wrestled for Beyond, GCW, other promotions.
Mm-hmm.
TJ Crawford literally was just on Ring of Honor last week with Shot for the Heart with Love Doug. What a tag team, by the way.
Right.
I mean, it fits, but I'm pretty excited for the idea. But I understand where Mark's coming from at the same time, too.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good conversation point. I think it's something where I think with anything, want to make sure that you're being, optimistic, but also being like,
You'd be realistic at the same time.
Realistic here. Let's see what's going on. Let's make sure everything is fine. That being said, let's talk about talent that is leaving the independent scene. As I quickly slurp down some pho, guys. If you're watching this, you know that this was shown. I've been, literally sitting on this for the past weekend. No, this is recorded the same night as the pre-show. If I literally had pho going in my lap for 3 days just to eat, call a doctor.
Right, exactly.
It'd be moldy by now.
Pretty much, yeah. It'd also be cold as ice.
Cold as ice.
I love it.
All right, which article do we go by? Do we go by WrestleZone? Do we go by Fightful? Do we go by Wrestle Talk? Doesn't matter. Josh Alexander said he's wrapping up his independent dates. Might do special things if possible. Yep. So it sounds like Josh Alexander, currently on the TNA roster, is wrapping up being on the independent scene.
So, go ahead, Sam.
Go for it.
So you bring him his contract with TNA. It expires soon. And he wanted to do free agency this year or last year, but it rolled over.
Yep.
So I don't think he's staying TNA much longer.
Yeah, the speculation started running wild when he made that announcement that he was going to wrap up his independent dates, and people were like, "Oh my god, he got signed to WWE." It's like, listen, he's still under contract, guys. Slow down. He's getting up there in age when it comes to wrestlers, so why kill your body? I think he even said, like, it's time for the young guns to take over. Let them run things. I've done my part. Now it's their turn to do theirs, and God bless him.
He'd be an awesome trainer.
Yes, absolutely. But I think he still has plenty of gas. There's plenty of gas left in the tank. I would love to see him on a bigger platform, whether it be AEW or WWE. I think he would do great. Part of me kind of wants him to go to NXT, join up with Ethan Page.
Yes.
Bring back the North, challenge Motor City Machine Guns, and then you have a TNA versus AEW versus everything WWE match. You have that sounds
like a bad joke. But I mean, a lot of people were thinking that someone said AEW, but personally, I don't want to see him in AEW. Not a bad thing. Just I think he could get lost in the shuffle. To be honest with you.
Well, I mean, he could also get lost in the shuffle in WWE as well after a few months. So it's not just AEW that has that issue. WWE does it as well. But I feel like he would definitely have
a better fit, honestly.
I think, especially since he knows more people probably in WWE, especially now with the whole NXT thing. I'm really surprised I haven't seen him on NXT television yet.
Bring the Northern Army to NXT.
I mean, that's definitely possible. I think it's definitely something that could happen down the road.
If he goes to WWE, I want to see him and AJ.
Ooh, give it to me.
Alexander said he wants to face AJ like a couple years ago. Like I think someone asked, the typical info question, who's your dream opponent?
Yep.
Yeah. If he wants to see TNA, I mean, that's cool for him. I mean, he's been the Tanahashi of TNA the last couple of years.
Yeah.
He's been killing it. I've been a huge fan of him for years. Tag team with the North. I just can't say enough good things about. I like the heel turn right now in TNA.
Yeah, he's been doing a good job.
I've
enjoyed it.
He's facing Macklin in a no DQ match at Turning Point. That's part of WrestleCade.
Nice.
On the 29th. So I mean, his contract is up in next year, early next year. So I don't think he stays. I think they're gonna work quick. TNA. I don't think they're gonna lose a lot of people. I think Jordan Grace is leaving. I think Alexander's leaving. Mike Bailey already left, pretty much.
Yeah, and he's supposed to go to AEW, I think, from what people are saying.
Eiffel was saying, yeah. Someone said Gresham. I haven't seen too many reports on Gresham, but Jordan Grace has been the top three were Bailey, Alexander, and Grace.
Yep.
And Bailey technically, so 4, but still.
Right. Yeah.
I think Alexander will fit better in WWE. I mean, him and Jacob fought 2 again. I want to see that again.
Ooh.
Him and Driger. Ooh. I don't. He might say Tina, like I said, and he might just not want to do the grind anymore. I mean, he's been doing that 20 years. His last indie promotion match is with Kevin Blackwood at Prestige in January. That's a banger.
Yep.
Guess it's Alexander and it's
Yeah.
Kevin Black. That's another guy I want to see get ID'd.
That would be cool.
That's interesting when you put in. That's somebody I want to get ID. This guy, I want to see you get pulled over. All right. So this might be an actual short episode. Wow.
Woohoo. Not a bad thing. Just woohoo.
Not a bad thing. So the last thing I want to talk about is AEW, obviously their new contract. Ethan, Scott, I don't know if you had a little more of the details on this one, but it looks like AEW is actually finally, after the crowd, after the fans have been saying, hey, you're not selling the tickets, you need to be in a smaller venue, they're going to start running smaller venues.
Which is good. Apparently they're still going to stay with the larger venues for their pay-per-views, which obviously makes more sense because you have more matches. People are going to want to watch them. They're going to want to enjoy them. So they need more seating.
Special shows, I think they said 2.
Yeah. So having their shows be in smaller venues is a good thing because A, it gives them more markets to go into, places that don't necessarily always get wrestling or ever get wrestling for that matter. So that can help them grow. Yes, selling their tickets has been tough for them recently, which is too bad. You don't want to ever see somebody fail. So having them go into smaller venues that maybe only have a couple thousand seats, you constantly sell those out. Maybe you start sprinkling in a little bit larger ones in some of the well-known cities. It helps them continue to grow their brand. They're also starting to do better, I think, at least from what I've been seeing with their storyline purposes. So that in its own right will also begin to drive people back in. But for now, you need consistency with them selling their tickets for what they have for the smaller venues. And I have optimism that they're going to start doing better, especially if they can continue on with the storytelling, continue having the good matches. It doesn't always have to be a dream match every single week. Give us a reason why these people are wrestling each other. Make it entertaining, which they've been doing. I like that people are coming back from injury finally, and they're starting to actually do good stuff. It's nice to see as well. And I feel like they're getting a little bit more momentum again, which is, again, nice to see. So I just hope it continues, and I hope that they continue to do well and continue to grow.
So remember that whole Columbus show we were talking about? It got moved to the GalaxyCon.
Yes.
Do you know the real reason why they did that?
No.
They were in the big arena in Columbus. I forget what the arena was called, and it has 10,000 seats.
Right.
They only sold 1,000.
Ouch.
Yes,
That's
ouch. I'm surprised they haven't, because Tony Khan talks about, like, I mean, I love Japan wrestling, so does he. I mean, we're all wrestling fans. But anyway, Tony Khan said he wants to. I'm surprised he hasn't said he wants to run Cork and Hall.
That's true.
I'm a little surprised, but I mean, I could see AEW do a Japan tour in the future, but I don't know if Japan AEW is popular in Japan. Not trashing, I don't know.
Yeah,
So.
Exactly. You don't you know unless you're there, you don't really know. And why risk it right now to have a tour there and not do it well? So I know that they're doing what is it called? Wrestle Dynasty in Tokyo, and that's I believe you said that that's a combined show though. It's not just them.
It's AEW, New Japan, CMLL, Stardom, and Ring of Honor.
Right. So there you go. So do more of those super shows types of stuff.
Japan Forbidden Door, basically.
Correct. Yeah. Let people, let the Japanese people see your wrestlers, see if they become attached to them, then they'll start clamoring for more, and then that's when you can start throwing the tours in.
You know what they could do to get a feeler for it? You could hypothetically record a Dynamite in a Collision either before or after.
True.
Because if you make this a normal thing, We got to think about like, where's it going with this? You got to think about like, if you're already going to be spending time over there, and it's not like a weekend. 4th of January can fall any time of the week.
Right.
So at some point, if they decide to continue this, Wrestling Dynasty will be on a Wednesday, technically, actually. I just had the calendar up.
So Wrestle Kingdom's on a Saturday next year. Let me take a look. See.
Yes, it's on a Saturday.
So Sunday would be Wrestle Dynasty and a New Year's Dash that Monday.
So I think if you wanted, you could even do it. Maybe do a small house show. See what it's like. Go to Run Kurikan Hall.
Budokan.
Well, I'm thinking like you get a smaller venue in the area and just see how you feel it out.
Yeah.
Because if we look at the calendar, you could do a Dynamite before or after. You could do a Collision before or after.
Well, remember Dynamite? Was it Dynamite in Collision? They did one in Wales.
Yes. Yeah, they did them over there. They did it in Cardiff or whatnot before they had their pay-per-view.
There you go.
Yeah, makes sense.
They could do that. But I'm surprised they haven't done Cork and Hall yet. Surprisingly, but I think in the future, next couple of years, they could. Maybe.
I'm insulted. I'm actually looking at the calendar as we speak, and they don't have any Florida dates outside of the pay-per-view.
Beat them up, Sam. Tweet at them. Tony Khan, come here.
I had I said this because I'm like, I won't get into it. This is a personal thing. It's funny. I've been in Florida for almost, what was that, 21, 22? Oh, 2.5 years. They've come to this Tampa area once, whereas Boston, hell, they had their first Rhode Island TV tape, and that wasn't Rampage.
Yep.
2 weeks ago for Collision. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, you have all these it used to make sense with how the markets, it's kind of like they kind of would go down and work their way up and down.
Yep.
AEW, I don't know how they book their shows.
They're kind of everywhere. And it's crazy. Mm-hmm. Like they don't follow a pattern. They just like they're like spin the globe and just throw it. But the globe's just the US. And they're like, we're gonna be in I don't know.
Yeah,
in Montana this week. And then next week we'll be in Michigan. And Jesus Christ.
Well, here we go. So, Worlds ends the 28th of December. January 1st, Fight for the Fallen is in Asheville, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina for the Collision that weekend. Clarksville, Tennessee for the following Dynamite. Athens, Georgia on the 11th of January. Collision is Louisville, Kentucky. Knoxville, Tennessee. Huntsville, Alabama. Houston, Texas. Austin, Texas. Then they're in Grand Slam, Australia. And then they're in Arizona. California, Arlington. I don't know. A little irritated because I've been dying to go to another show.
Same. Assholes.
Yeah, go to the middle of nowhere, Canada. Ethan needs to watch a show. Wow. Am I wrong, though?
No, he's not probably wrong. Hey, come on. Cheap shots, Sam. I said you can have free shots at the Toronto Maple Leafs, but that's it, though. And Montreal Canadiens.
Yes, always free shots at the Canadiens.
Montreal Canadiens. Scott's Food Pacific.
Yeah. I have no problem with Ethan, obviously.
I know. No, but and also the AEW should come do more Canada. No offense to Toronto and Alberta listeners, but come on, you guys get way too much wrestling. You're like Chicago, for God's sakes. Come to the Maritimes. We'll be fun. We went at a wrestling event. We were supposed to have one in 2017, but freaking hurricane. No, not Hurricane Helms. Literally, I was ready to go to that show too. I was like, yes, I'm ready. And they're like, oh, we're canceled. I'm like, no, I want to go.
Well,
womp womp.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, it's nice. Hopefully with the smaller venues, hopefully it'll look more packed. And again, hopefully with everything going on. Granted, I think AEW is starting to we're in this phase, and I'm glad they have a TV deal. But I think, and this is a WWE mark thing, and you know how they are. And again, AEW, everyone has their marks, but WWE marks are the worst. the moment they smell stench on any other product, it's not WWE and we'll never touch it.
Right.
You know, so I think there's a little bit of that going on, kind of like TNA. Even though Impact has been great, it's been incredible. The product has moved up. There are people like, oh, LOL, TNA, that's still garbage. It's like, no, you virgin. Like,
tribalism needs to die in wrestling. It needs to die.
I'm going to start making that a hashtag. Tribalism needs to die. We should make it a shirt. Make it our first shirt on top of the million other first shirts we have ideas for.
No.
Oreos in Canada.
Oh my God! There's a callback. Woo!
And then I sent a video. Remember that? I sent.
Yeah.
I'm like, my God, I have Oreos.
Isn't that the one that John would be like, hey, you got Oreos up there?
Yep, that's a deep cut.
And then I went to Walmart and filmed the video and then sent it all three of you because John actually didn't believe me.
Yep.
Asshole. Love him, but asshole.
All right. Yeah, we didn't have much today to talk about, guys. Obviously, it's Thanksgiving weekend. Travel safe. Enjoy your weekend. Don't forget to listen to our SummerSlam show. Go join the Discord. We're gonna
SummerSlam.
I was gonna say, wait a minute, SummerSlam
series. 2 SS shows. I get confused.
Oh,
SS shows, not those kind of SS shows. Survivor Series and SummerSlam. Gotta clarify that. But before we get out of here, guys, thank you so much for listening. Scott, where can they find you? They need to find you.
They can pretty much find me everywhere. Scotty J Stream on all the platforms. I mostly hang out with the Above the Ring side of things on X, posting everything that is non-Japanese wrestling. That that is handled by our good friend Ethan.
Boom. Yes, you can follow me on Twitter /X/ whatever the Elon Musk got changed their name to. Wrestling_fan_9. Again, really got to change that. Blue Sky, Ethan dash Black at Blue Sky Social. God, they really need to fix that. You can follow me on here on the Above the Ring doing the Japanese side because Scott doesn't watch much Japanese wrestling. Not a cheap shot, just being honest. Follow me on bodyslam.net, pwmania.com, pwponders in my show every Friday, Sunday, Walk with Ethan. Check out the last episode I just did from Sunday. Sam posted it, so thanks, buddy.
Right, guys. Yeah, don't forget to check that out. You can find me as This Will Be Official. Find me on the Bedlam Media X page as well, and you get cat off my lap. We are on all streaming platforms, guys. We are 100 subscribers on YouTube. If you don't already, subscribe to us, guys. Give us a little love. Let's get to 2. Why not? Just we're not asking for much. Find us on the Discord. We're going to be adding that. You can find us on all streaming platforms. If there's one you cannot find us on, please let us know, and we will put ourselves on there. Guys, we are out of time. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, do not forget to join